Howdy, y'all.
Hi, guys.
It's Ryan.
And Angie.
From R&A Music.
We're
We're both wearing R&A shirts today.
I know.
Look at us.
Represented.
Shameless self
It's not shameless because it's
promotion.
who we are.
It's our uniform.
Yes.
It's our work. It's our work.
It's just who we are.
Your favorite mom and pop guitar shop and music lesson studio, deep in the heart of Texas. This is where we are right now.
That's right.
And it's time for another episode of Ask R&A. So excited. We're on a roll. We keep doing these.
I know.
This is like 575.
6?
No, 5.
575.
Good Lord, that'd be a lot. 275. I think it's 275.
I got what you're saying. I was like
275. 575 would be.
Yeah, like 10 more years from now. 6 more years
Yeah,
from
it'd be like a lot more videos. Anyways, we're gonna answer y'all's questions. Let's get to it. Welcome back to another episode of Ask R&A, where Angela and I, who are married to each other, that question comes up
It does.
occasionally.
Yeah.
Newbies.
Y'all be flirting.
Yeah.
Stop your flirting.
Angela's so cute. It's never like, man, Ryan's very handsome. We never get
Well,
those
because
comments.
our demographic are mostly men.
That's right. It's 99.9% dudes.
And if we get ladies, it's usually the wives of the men
The wives of the dudes.
that are married.
Yes. And we own a music lesson studio and a little guitar shop deep in the heart of Texas.
Yes.
We like to answer questions. This is what we do each week. If you're new here, check us out. Subscribe. I'm sure if you're into guitar stuff, you'll probably like us. Click the little bell and you get notified. Or if you're a long-time subscriber and you're not seeing our videos regularly, click that little bell icon thing wherever it's at. And you'll just get a notification every time we upload a video, which is about once a week.
Yeah.
Phone. Freaking phone. We're open for business, y'all. It's Saturday.
Yay.
We're filming this on Saturday. We're getting a little behind. Normally we do Thursday nights.
I know.
And I try to edit and upload on Fridays.
We're so tired by Thursday night.
Sweet Lord Jesus, save me, because we are... Now let's shoot it on Saturday and maybe it'll be uploaded by Sunday. Whatever. Anyways.
It is what it is.
We're doing it. That's what matters.
Yes,
we're
we
actually
are.
making videos. Some people don't even make videos, which is fine. Anyways. All right, we're going to answer your questions. First question, RDT275, hashtag Oreo 2020.
What?
This is a rare exception. I normally don't go back and catch a question like this is from 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
But it just happened. I saw the notification and it popped up and I was like, oh, this is from week before last video, but it caught my attention, so I stuck it in with these. I don't normally do that. I can't go back
All the time.
5 years ago and answer a new question on a video from 5 years ago. I can't do that. But anyways, whatever. It popped up at just the right time while I was printing the questions, so I got it. All right, Ryan, I have 2 questions. One, can you compare the necks on the CMG versus Gibson versus PRS S2? What tunings do you use and what gauges for them? And Angela, love your Instagram. Please keep it up. God bless.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
All right.
I know who you are. Now that I was just thought, my brain caught up.
What are we
okay?
doing? All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I will do my best to answer. You can have that lovely guitar over there because I do have, of course, I have a PRS S2. We got to get them all on the screen. Thumbnail time. Normally it's 2 guitars in the thumbnail. This time it's 3, but I do have actually I have a couple of PRS. I have 2 SE PRS guitars and 1 S2, which is the core, not a core model, but it is a USA model, USA built model with import electronics. That's what the S2 series is. We have a CMG Ashley here and a 1996 Les Paul Standard. So 3 examples talking about the necks. Okay, so the problem here is it depends on which Gibson you're talking about. Because the neck on the Les Paul, they can have several different necks profiles. Like the neck profile on this is different from the neck profile on my Gibson Explorer. This is a very slim 60s taper neck. The CMGs just have one neck profile, so there's much to worry about there. The PRS will have a couple different ones. They have the pattern regular and the pattern thin, which is the current version of their wide fat and wide thin necks. So two different kinds of necks typically on the PRS. One kind of neck on the CMG, several different necks, and it depends on what year. Like the more modern Les Pauls, they have a different... I'm not up on all the stuff because we're not Gibson dealers.
Right.
And I have two Gibson guitars, but I'm not an ultra mega fanboy. There are channels that are all about Gibson Les Pauls, and you can check that out. But even now, they have different things. So, as best I can tell you between these three specific examples, this is a 96 Les Paul Standard, and I believe as I was researching it this morning, while Angela was asleep, and I was awake, and I was scrolling on my phone, I was like, all right, what kind of neck is on a 96 Les Paul Standard? Well, it's a, as much as I could find out, because it just depends on who you ask, it's like a 59 profile, which is not the fat baseball thick neck. Usually the mid-90s Les Paul Standards usually had that, but even back then I think there were two choices. There was kind of like a fat version and a slimmer version. But I think this is the 59 neck, where it's not a skinny neck, but it's not the big fat chunky baseball one. I think this is like a 59-ish. That's what they're saying. There were some that were like a slim 60s neck. This is not that, because that is what's on my Explorer. The Explorer is thinner than this, and then the Ashley from CMG, it is basically a 59 neck profile. That's what Chris told me back in the day. It's like a 59 neck. So it's actually pretty similar to this Gibson one. Except it might be slightly thinner, but it's almost exactly the same. Dropping guitars. He did say though, I was like, hey, any more details? And then it's a 59 profile. He said, well, is it a C shape? Is it a D shape? It's not. It's really kind of in between a C. He calls it a shallow C. Not quite a D shape, more of a shallow C shape, right? So these are actually pretty similar. I'm going to put that down on a stand. Yeah, and then let me grab this, because it's just one of those things. I mean, I can give you the specs. I could give you measurements, millimeters. Well, actually, I can't because I don't have that in front of me. But they're all pretty similar. I feel like, now this is the pattern regular PRS neck, which is what they would call a wide fat. Go ahead and give that a grippy grip there.
Yeah.
So it's not crazy thin, but it's also not like a big chunky. Everybody talks about the old Gibson necks. They're like baseball bat necks, which is not. This isn't that. No. So even though this would be technically what would be their old wide fat, I don't consider that
not compared to others.
fat neck. But honestly, they're all pretty close. You know,
very similar.
The PRS might be a hair beefier than that specific Les Paul and that Ashley. Just a smidge beefier. Not significantly beefier.
Yeah, I could barely tell the difference.
Yeah. It's a grippy grip.
Yeah, no, it's about the same.
Grippy grip.
Yeah.
It's almost the same. All right, let's take that over there, please. Look at that sapele. Sapele. Sapele.
Very cool.
Pretty similar, honestly. Our DT275. I was texting Chris Mitchell from CMG this morning early, like, hey, give me some more details. I mean, I know it's a 59 profile, quote unquote. And if you're familiar with Gibson 59 style neck, you'll get it. Customer. Phone calls and customers. Be right back. So I forgot what I was saying because I just sold some strings. But, I did just say, I was like, well, you know, on the CMG, he said it's in between a C and D. So maybe it's a C plus neck or a D minus neck.
Yeah.
No, it would be a C minus or a D plus.
Right.
Neither one of those are good grades, but it's a great neck on the CMG. So they're all pretty similar. But, you know, I told Chris, I was like, I have an undisclosed amount of personal guitars.
Yes.
And they all have slightly different necks. I can play all of them.
Right.
They don't really bother me too much. You know, big changes between necks, but those three are actually all very similar, which is not surprising because they're similar shapes, similar inspirations. You know, obviously the Les Paul is kind of the granddaddy, and the CMG is taking some cues from that. The single cut PRSs take some cues from that as well, but
right.
You know, the differences are fairly minute between these three specific examples of necks. All right. Next question is, what tunings do you use and what string gauges for them? Well, most of the time I'm in standard tuning, because most of the time I'm here at the shop and I'm teaching lessons to kids and beginners, and so we do most of our playing in standard tuning.
Yeah. So
in standard tuning, I tend to use 9.5s or 10s usually for standard tuning. 9s or 9.5s. I used to use 10s, and I found in my advanced years of experience, there's certainly less hand fatigue using 9s or 9.5s, and I like that in standard tuning on a Les Paul style guitar. I do play a fair bit in E flat. Everything tuned down a half step. If you're playing Van Halen songs, they're in E flat. Guns N' Roses E flat. So at E flat, 10s feel good in E flat. I do a fair bit of drop C sharp, which is everything tuned down to E flat half step, then to drop D. For that, I like the 10 to 52s hybrid set, 10 to 52 for drop C sharp stuff, and even sometimes drop C. I'll use 10 to 52s.
Right.
I have one guitar that I'll keep like 11 to 56 on if I'm doing something that's, you know, lower than that, but that's not very often. Majority of the time I'm playing in standard, drop D, or tune down a half step, and then drop C sharp. Tune down a half step to drop D is drop C sharp. So usually 9.5s, 10s, 10 to 52s. It's pretty much my go-to sets and tunings. Thanks for the questions, RDT275. And first question from last week, Cam Demand, hashtag King Ed. Kinged, or Kinged. It's King Ed, but anyway. He says, hello, Arne. Hope all's well with my favorite mom and pop shop in Texas. See? Favorite mom and pop guitar shop in Texas. So with talks of baby number 2 demand.
Ooh.
I guess it's in talks.
Yeah.
There are discussions about baby number 2 demand. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've been told my spare bedroom studio days are numbered. Whoa. My question is, where do I go with all my stuff now? LOL. We have our own 3-bedroom home, but the wife doesn't seem fond of amps/guitars in the living room.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now you got a 3-bedroom. You got a master bedroom, baby demand bedroom, and then you have a 3rd bedroom that's like an office studio type thing.
Or a guest bedroom.
Or guest. And if baby demand number 2 comes along, you're going to lose the home office. What does he do with his stuff, Angela? Because this is really a question for Angela. This is not really a question for me.
It depends on how much stuff, honestly. That's really hard because, I mean...
What is Mama the Man thinking right now?
I don't really know. Because I'm in a weird position because you have this.
Right, I have Arne music to come to.
So you have a place to do that. And we never really had our own place when it came to like you having your stuff everywhere.
Yes, we've never really had room for me to have stuff everywhere.
And like in our apartments back in the day, we lived in three apartments.
Who knows?
3 different apartment complexes. 1 in Tyler and 2 when we lived in Tulsa. And he would have like an amp in the corner, either in the bedroom or in the living room, beside or behind the couch or something like that.
On my side of the bed.
Yes, on his side of the bed. So he did stuff like that.
A single guitar stand.
Right.
You know.
Because we have 2 children, obviously. And, to Cam Demand, he knows.
Cam Demand knows.
So it was just kind of like he just brought it out whenever he could. And a lot of times they were in closets. Guitars were under the bed, in cases. Stood up and like behind his jeans would be the gig bag.
In my closet,
in the
tucked
closet,
away behind
the clothes would be the guitars just kind of sitting there. And whenever he needed them, you know, like for worship band practice or whatever like that, at that time, he would bring them out. And then once he was done, he would pack them up and
slide them back under the bed.
Yeah, and put them back in the closet. So there was stuff like that. So, because, you know, honestly, with babies, when it comes to babies, if you have a guest bedroom with like a pretty good sized closet, I mean like a standard closet, you know, that's at least arm length.
Baby doesn't need a whole room.
They don't need a whole entire closet. So you can occupy the closet.
And a changing table. That's all they need.
You can have, I mean, they're not going to be walking and crawling around for a while. So having something set up in the baby's room in the corner isn't so bad. That's up to you and your wife and how much y'all like music and how much you like, you know, tchotchke type things in the room. Now, if she's big on designing, decorating, and it being a theme room, then yeah, you're pretty screwed. So just you're just gonna
guitars hanging on
for
the wall
next,
are going to
you know,
interfere with the flow.
18 years, that room is going to be that child's room until y'all get a 4-bedroom place, and for most people, that's just not feasible because it's expensive. But yeah, there's, you know, unless you have some kind of single buddy that has an apartment that you can use their space and y'all can have a place where y'all jam together, because Ryan's also done that.
I've done that where most of my
Bitter
stuff
Bassman was at the Bitter Bassman's house, and
because Paul had more house than he had people.
Yeah, he still does.
He still does.
And so having stuff over there isn't as big of a deal as, of course, now we have the room. And now we're on the other end of it where our children are getting ready to leave out, and we'll have 2 extra bedrooms to do what we need to do with. So but yeah, having it in the living room is not so bad as long as it's not disrupting the flow of the home. You know,
we're pretty lucky now because we kind of have a living room and a den area. The den really is sort of connected to our kitchen. Yeah. And that's kind of become my home office room because I have a big desk in there, but there are couches in there too. I mean, kids can sit in there and play video games on my giant TV. Yeah. That's
y'all saw it. If you saw the
if you saw our reaction video,
I'm not going to say of who.
We're not going to.
It doesn't matter anymore. Anyways. I was going to say something very ugly.
Don't.
I caught myself. It's that Texas temper. Leave me alone.
Texas ladies.
Oh my gosh.
All the Texas ladies.
So that was that room. So I was sitting at Ryan's office desk in that. So if you go back to that video a couple videos ago, like 3 videos ago. You'll
the video with 4,000 views. All the others have 400.
And like 700 thumbs down. Anyways, you'll see. And if you can see through that entryway behind my shoulder, that first little room at the front, that's our front living room where we spend most of our like family time and stuff with watching movies. So we have the room now, but we did not have
majority
that
of our
for
time.
A long time. Yeah. In the 20 years that we've been married, only 5 of it has been in that house.
The first 15 years, we didn't have room for anything.
Like we lived in very small quarters, very tight apartments, RVs. We lived in like a lot of small places. So I get 100%. You know what it's like to trip over things and babies and guitars and all the stuff. So you just find a way and you give each other grace, and you understand that if there's babies, mamas are up here patience wise because all their patience is towards the baby. So
she's already used up all of her available patience for the day.
is going to be towards you
on poopy diapers.
So be understanding mentally when it comes to that all of her mental capacity and everything is towards bringing baby in life and all that stuff. Okay, so if you keep that in mind, you'll work together and you're very patient with each other and know that this is just a season and it's gone in a blink of an eye.
Before you know it.
Then you will be fine. Because things don't matter, people do, and you know that. Because I know you're a family man, so you're good.
Sounds to me like a good reason to explore buying new gear. I got to build a mini rig. A mini rig that you can tuck away in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love getting cabinets and like old entertainment centers and things and like turning them into stuff. Like we got that old entertainment center, and I used it. I put Tupperware container stacking drawers inside of it, and I use it as my yarn cabinet for the longest time because my yarn is just...
You still have a bunch in the laundry room, by the way.
Yes, I know. I'm going through that. I'm going through that today. That's my job. One of my jobs today. So, but repurposing things like that. So maybe you can find an old entertainment center that you can tuck away in a kid's room,
or
like
a desk,
lock, or a desk that you can put things.
You can tuck a cabinet underneath the desk,
in the edge of the desk.
Like, yeah. Like secret plans, secret doors.
Yeah.
You open up, but it's a desk that you
have
can
a hall
fit
closet.
Cabinets and things in. So when you close it, it just looks like a desk. But you open it and it's Guitar-mageddon.
Yeah. Just little things like that. Think outside the box.
Yeah. Get real creative. Mm-hmm. Good luck, Camden Man.
Yes.
Next question, Pat Delaney. Hey, you two awesome people. So Fender have released the American Professional 2 series. How do I know? My YouTube feed is flooded with every single YouTube channel out there doing a paid review telling me that minuscule red non-existent changes have made to a massive buy me now type difference. Do you think companies will learn and only pay a few YouTubers rather than oversaturate to get the message out? Keep well. Hashtag the whining London bassman. Okay. Hey,
So
Pat.
not a bitter
bass man. A whiny bass man. In London. London. All right. I do recall, because I look on YouTube almost every single day. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm changing strings for a customer, I'll put on a YouTube video or whatever. But I scroll through my subscription feed, and I'm subscribed to a fair amount of music, guitar channels. And I do remember seeing several, Fender American Special, blah, blah, blah. Now, I am not a Fender guy, so I could care less.
Right.
There's a new Strat. I wonder how different it is from all the other Strats. It's a Strat, right?
Yeah.
How different could it be? Whatever.
I don't know.
But I did notice that there were several, things about that. Now, I think that's a great question. Mm-hmm. Now, I think I was watching a Gary V video the other day, and he was talking about, listen, Angela doesn't like Gary. I don't know if y'all watch Gary V or not, but he's an entrepreneur kind of thing guy, and he's saying, he was doing an interview, and it's like, listen, if you watch him, like I watch stuff, I don't watch everything he puts out, but every now and then I'll check it out. I'm like, I'm a business owner, trying to use social media to reach,
he has
people.
He has good advice.
And he's like, listen,
he does.
There are millions of people in America who are into business and entrepreneurial stuff, and he's like, who's never heard of me. Mm-hmm. And he puts out a crap ton of content on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on everything.
All the things.
Now he has a team of people doing it all for him.
Yeah, since he said we
editing.
should get TikTok for our business.
It's a thing. You can reach people, but he's like, listen, as active and go harder than anybody else on creating content. So there are still millions of people who are like, Gary, who? What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Right? So even though, like in your feed, you're seeing all these YouTube channel guys that you subscribe to, there's still millions of people who've like never seen that, right? Mm-hmm. There are people who subscribe to Phil McKnight who don't subscribe to Riffs, Beards, and Gear. And there are people who subscribe to Riff, Beards, and Gear who don't subscribe to Ben Eller or don't subscribe to Rick Beato or whatever, right? Because we all have your own flavors. So it's really, if you think about it, like TV doesn't matter anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm. YouTube is the new TV. Mm-hmm. YouTube is television. Facebook and Instagram. And all these channels.
And Amazon.
Yeah, it's commercials. It's like, how many different channels does, Frosted Flakes have commercials for Frosted Flakes?
Right.
Like,
and who's not going to buy them if you don't like them? I mean, who's not going to buy cereal?
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like breakfast stuff. Like, it's just crazy.
So the companies,
toilet paper commercials.
the companies want to get their product in front of as many eyeballs as possible. Mm-hmm. And so they're going to cover as many bases as they can. Now, they're not going to just do that for everybody, because you have people like, I got 300 subscribers, send me free stuff, I'll do a commercial for you, Fender. Fender's like, we don't need you, Mr. 300 subscriber guy. Like, they don't care. But if you got 30,000 subscribers, or you get 5,000 views every video, they're like, hey, you've got an audience, we want to work with you. So I don't think companies are ever going to do less. I was like, why would you want your product in front of less eyes? Would you want your product in front of less eyeballs or more eyeballs?
Right.
More eyeballs is better than less eyeballs.
Gross.
So I don't think they're going to go to just, well, we're just going to do it with just a few people. It's like, no, they want to get it in front of as many people as possible. Yeah, and again, I'm subscribed to quite a few guitar YouTube channels. There's only one or two that I actually kind of watch pretty regularly. Yeah. Like, oh, so-and-so has a new video, I'm going to go watch it. Like, even, and there are people I'm still subscribed to that I'm friends with, or that I like, or I used to watch all their videos, and I'm still subscribed, but I don't watch any of their videos. Because after about 100 videos, I'm like, I kind of know I know what his thing is. You know?
Yeah.
It's like a new food. You fall in love. Oh, I love this drink. I'm gonna drink this drink every day for
yellow.
I'm gonna drink this drink every day for like 6 months, and then I'm like, you know what? It's great. I like it. It's good, but I kind of want something different. Ooh, I have a new drink. I don't want to get rid of this drink, but I'm gonna drink this one now for every month.
But that'll always be your go-to.
Yeah, they're not going to. It's just like, how many different channels have you seen a Chevy? Well, I don't know. You're in London. I don't know how to compare this, but in America, Chevy trucks. Yes. Chevrolet trucks.
Built Ford tough.
Yeah, built Ford tough. Every single TV channel will have a Ford commercial.
Ford is the best in Texas.
That's what Ford says. I don't know about that. That's their tagline for on Texas channels. They'll say Ford is the best in Texas. But every single TV channel will have a Ford commercial. Right? Why would they just put commercials on just 2 channels? Same thing.
Especially whenever you know your demographic, and that's the big thing about YouTube and any social media outlet. Even on the podcast that I do, it tells me who my demographic is, what platform they're watching me on, where they're there. I don't think that necessarily does nationality. I'm not sure.
Viewer location,
but it does location. It does location, like United States, England, and stuff like that. So it's pretty interesting, but it's very broad. It's a broad demographic, United States versus England versus South America, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then it's, male, female, non-binary.
Circle. And boy, girl, or circle.
Yes. So it has it does that, and then age group. Yeah. So, but then when you know that, then that's how they know how to adapt. So if you're in their age group, we were laughing about this the other day when I was watching MacGyver on Prime, because we don't have regular television, so I'm watching shows that I've never watched before
watch TV
on Amazon. And the commercials that they have on there, because I do it with the commercials because I ain't paying more money than that, what I'm paying. And they had arthritis commercials and
it was
retirement.
I'm in there reading a book or working on something, and she's binge watching MacGyver, the current one, not old school MacGyver. Yeah. And I'm like, every single commercial pop, I'm like,
it's like,
man, their demographic is like old ladies.
Yeah, and men.
Yeah, there's a lot more like.
Because they had a couple of commercials that only old men would.
Yeah, but there were a lot of lady commercials.
Yeah. It was.
Oh, women!
It was
if you're dealing with menopause, this hormonal, I'm like, oh, baby, you know who's watching this TV show, Angela? 50-year-old ladies.
Me.
You're not 50 though.
Yes.
But because that's how advertising works. It's funny because you say
8 more years for that.
YouTubers oversaturate. It's like what you might feel like is an oversaturation is really like
it's just a drop in the bucket.
It's a drop in the bucket. There are millions and millions and millions and millions of more people. It's
pretty crazy though.
The algorithm is just spoon feeding you what it thinks you want.
And the more you watch it, the more it feels like they're just constantly coming at you.
Yeah.
I feel that way on Instagram whenever I'm like, oh, that's a good, oh, it's a sponsored. Oh, that's a good, oh, it's another sponsored. Oh, it's a, When it's like constant just sponsor. And I'm like, where are all my friends? Like, where
are all my people I'm actually wanting to follow?
And it all has to do with things that I'm currently doing, like women's ministry and jewelry and clothing, crochet, and mom stuff. And I'm not getting any crochet stuff on that channel.
You haven't liked it or watched enough of crochet.
Well,
stuff
yeah, from that channel. I'm sure on my other channel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I say channel. Profile. But anyways, yeah. It's just the nature of the beast.
It is. It's not going to stop. It's probably going to get worse.
Unfortunately.
But they're just counting on you to go, look at the title. Fender American Pro 2. I'm not going to watch this.
Yeah.
Skip. Because they know you're not going to watch it.
Yeah. I always think of like those like dystopian future type, where everything's very urban and everything's just like constant, and like the scene in there's two, Back to the Future 2 did that, where everything was just everywhere, like everything had an advertisement on it, like everything. And The Fifth Element, where everybody was living in just these compact, and everything was like right there, and people were hovering around, like McDonald's had like a ship that came and delivered and cooked food right outside your door. Like, it was just constant. Like, that's the mentality of where people think this is headed, and we're actually, like, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, basically, of just doing this because the more we consume, the more producers want to get stuff out to show you. The more you consume, the more, and it just keeps compiling on top of it, and until, you're overwhelmed. Which we are. We are all completely overwhelmed. So. And
then we just turn it off. Or quit watching.
That's the key right there.
Thanks for the question, man. Great question.
And shop locally.
Great question. Sure. What do you guys and gals think? Great question. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Next question. Jeremy, the Surfing Alien. Why do most pickup companies use resistance as a measurement of output? I do understand that this may be used to factor the output, but I don't believe it truly tells the whole story technically.
Oh, good Lord.
I don't know. I have zero clue about that, Jeremy. What should they use instead of
I was thinking
resistance?
This is going to be a long answer.
No, it's going to be real short.
Okay.
Because I have no idea. No clue. Like, I've never gotten that geeky into like pickups as far as like, okay, how many... what's the output resistance of this? And this one, I know there's measurements, and you can look it up. Like, okay, this one is this much, so it's going to be a really hot pickup. So maybe I don't want to pair it with this one. Mm-hmm. You want to get ones of similar sort of output. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're going to, when you switch pickups, like, oh crap, super quiet now. Even if you raise and lower the pickups, so you want them to get similar power, basically. It's a good way to think about it.
Okay.
I don't know, like, why they measure it that way. Like, I am not at all an electronics guy. I've installed some pickups.
Yes.
And taken some pickups out, but I've never thought about the technicalities of building and all that stuff. So that's a question for somebody who's like a super mega geek. And I mean that
techie.
I mean that in a good way. Like Lane from Devil Cat Amps and CMG Guitars. Lane is a freaking electronics genius. I just talked to him this week about Devil Cat amps, and I have a Devil Cat that I want him to do some work to. I'm going to send it back to him. He knows all that crap. Mm-hmm. Like, did I tell you what they're doing now? Mm-mm. So on the side, they're building like electron microscopes, or they're building components for electron microscopes. They're like $90,000 microscopes.
Nice.
Chris is like, hey, did you know we're doing, like, it's just one component for the microscope. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, do what? It's like, yeah, pretty cool, huh? I'm like, yeah.
That's neat.
Well, Lane's a smart guy. I mean, what's a guitar amp compared to an electron microscope?
Right.
How complicated is it really? But some people are like super smart at that stuff. Mm-hmm. I am not. I didn't study engineering or electronics or any of that stuff. So I couldn't tell you about why they measure it that way. Mm-hmm. I don't have a clue. Anybody who does, please answer Jeremy's question. Jeremy, other than resistance, what other measurement could they have used? That would be my question. Is like, what else? What else is measurable? Resistance to current is a measurable thing. You can put a number to it. But what else? What other thing in there would you could give a number to? Maybe my guess. I don't know. Maybe my guess is maybe that's the only thing that you could get a firm, hard measurement onto.
It's definitely not my wheelhouse. That's not.
Thanks for the question, Jeremy.
He might as well be going bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing
Ping
bong,
pong.
bing bong, bong, bing bong, bong bong, bing bong, bong, bing bong. That's gonna be our hashtag.
Bing bong or ping pong? I don't know.
Bing bong bing.
I don't know, Jeremy. That's a great question, but I do not have the answer to. It's just my thought. Next question. Just Fun Guitar. Another fun episode. I love the moo at the end.
You're
Animals. Welcome. Yeah, that was for you. Hashtag King Ed. Hashtag KTMA. New question. What is the biggest plane you ever flew on? Ooh, gosh. I don't know. I've flown with Southwest Airlines several times, and they don't use the biggest plane. I think, I don't know if it's 737. I think 747s are the bigger
tree fitty.
Boeing. Tree fitty. But probably when we flew to Los Angeles in college.
It was a two-laner.
Yeah, that was a pretty big plane.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't a 3-aisle though.
It wasn't a 3-aisle. Like chairs, spacer, chairs, space, chairs. So I don't know if that was American Airlines. Might have been a 747. I don't know.
I think we flew Delta.
Delta could be. Now, what did you fly when you went to Switzerland?
We flew American, and it was huge, but I don't remember. I have my ticket actually, and yeah.
Do you?
It's in my memory little folder thing. Yeah. But I don't remember what it was, but it was really big. It was very big. There were different
levels,
different sections, and I believe there were levels. We weren't really allowed to wander because we were with a school, so we had to stay really close to our sponsors. I do remember we were in the aisle seat, and there was, I think, sat 4 in the middle section, and then you had the outside aisle and the outside aisle by the windows. And
Boeing 737. Southwest uses 737s.
Okay, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah. They're not that big. 737s are not big. But yeah, when we flew, of course, it's, a transatlantic flight.
Yeah.
And we were in front of me and 3 friends. We sat, and of course we tried to fall asleep, but these 4 Frenchmen were sitting behind us, and while we slept, they would take our pictures. It was so weird. They would just kind of go over the seat and take pictures of us as we were just asleep.
Creepy.
It was
taking pictures of teenage girls.
It was so weird,
19-year-old girls.
Yes, and when we landed, because we landed in Switzerland, I don't think we changed flights anywhere, but we landed in Switzerland and in Zurich, and they followed it. No. It was when we were coming home from Switzerland. That's when it was. It was when we were coming home from Switzerland, and we did we changed flights over in New York. And because I remember them following us.
You remember them following you?
Yeah, when we were going into the
French
tram,
were following you?
The Frenchmen were following us in the subway. Like, there's like a little, like DFW has the tram that takes you. Theirs is like just like a subway, like wherever. I barely remember it because it was just like, I just kept my head like down to the ground, like just not making eye contact with anybody because I was just like so frightened. I remember being so scared, like, I wish my dad was here. Because these guys kept following us and speaking in French, and
who knows what they were saying.
Yeah, they were laughing and giggling, but they were just being creepers,
Creepy creepertons.
Yeah. Anyways.
Probably not threatening, though.
No, not threatening. But we did. We changed planes in New York, I believe, and flew into DFW. But yeah, it was a big plane. I do remember it being a very, very large plane. But I don't know what it compares to.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
know what a 737.
I know my cousin, he flies them.
I was just looking at it, said Airbus 320, so that's maybe a European plane that compares to a 737.
Yeah.
We have Gnats.
I don't know.
And snatched it out of the
American
air. A 737 Max, which I don't know what the difference is between the regular 737 and 737 Max. It's maximized.
Yeah. I don't know if they had lower levels. You know how you can go down the staircase and go to the
lower deck of this
lower deck.
airplane.
I don't know if we were on a lower deck or upper deck or if it had that. I don't remember that, but I do remember it being very wide and us being in the center aisle with 4 seats. There were 4 seats, and there was like a big TV screen at the front. Who's that?
What's going on?
Hey, he goes. I'm my cousin.
I'm back. Customers.
Yeah.
We're filming during office hours.
Yeah. So we're going to be shifting just a tad every so often. So there you go.
There you go. Answer the question, Just Fun Guitar. We don't know how big.
We have
she
no idea.
She flew on a really big one to go to Europe. I flew on just Texas-sized planes, which are bigger. Fat Philosopher, the next question. Hashtag King Ed, do you prefer heavy or lightweight guitars? Any basswood or basswood guitars in your collection? Also, Godzilla versus Texas Woman.
Ooh.
Godzilla. The answer is always Godzilla.
But it would be an amazing battle.
For about half of a second. And then Godzilla wins, as always. So, all right, great question. Back in the old days, before shoulder and back problems, I used to say like heavy guitars. And still, most of my guitars are a little bit on the heavier side. But I play sitting down the majority of the time. And in that case, the heavy guitars don't really matter. Now, if I'm standing to play for a while, like an extended, like non-stop standing and playing, which I don't do a lot of anymore. Most of my guitars kind of fall in that 7 to 8, 9 pound range, and I can play for an hour standing with those guitars. But generally nowadays, if I'm going to stand and play for a large amount of time, I kind of like lighter guitars.
Yeah.
And for me, the lightest guitar I own actually is this PRS. Hey. It's a PRS 30th anniversary. It's an SE Custom 24. And it's not like light.
Oh, yeah.
But it's lighter than...
Yes, that's all I was going to say. Is like, no, it's not light. It's just lighter than all the beasts that
it's not feather light guitar.
My wristband matches.
Yeah, no, you look how cute.
Imagine.
Yeah. So this is the guy that if I'm having... Oh, man.
What'd you get on there?
I don't know.
It's like something sticky.
Something... Bug guts. I don't know. If I'm having like back problems or I'm having a shoulder issue day or something, I'm like, man, I need a light guitar today because I'm just tired or wore out or sore or whatever. This is usually, it's like not a big deal.
Right.
But it just kind of depends. I like heavy guitars. My heaviest guitar now is that Epiphone Zach Wild I got.
Yeah.
The camo Zach. It's like, holy crap. Like every time I go to pick it up off the wall, I'm like, I'm like, this is heavy. Oh gosh. It's certainly the heaviest. I measured it. I forgot what I said it was. It's either 10 or 11 pounds.
Something like that.
Maybe like 11 pounds, man. For an Epiphone Zach guitar, which is very much
that's crazy.
Like an old Les Paul,
Yeah.
So, most of my guitars are not light. I have one that's kind of light. But it just depends on what I'm doing, what day it is, how tired I am.
Ah!
He's a gnat.
You like to laugh. That's not
I
nice.
smote his ruin on your hand.
Yeah, grody. Weirdo.
What? Well, it's been bugging you. I saved you from that gnat.
Thank you.
He was about to bite you.
Gnats don't bite.
He's not going to. He sure won't.
He won't now.
Won't now.
Even if he thought he wanted to.
Even if he thought about it. So, you know, I like them both. Most of my guitars are a little bit on the heavy side, but I definitely have days where I'm like, yeah, we're playing the PRS SE today. So,
do you have any basswood?
Oh,
guitar
I don't
chords?
have any. I do not, actually.
I don't know what those are.
Basswood. So
I haven't seen those.
you find a lot of the more affordable. It used to be considered like a cheap wood, like the lower priced.
So easier to manufacture, easier to pump out.
Yeah, and more affordable, and they tend to be. I think they're lighter weight. Like the more affordable Ibanez guitars would be that, and just most of your budget ones, because it's just easy to get. But I think some players like Steve Vai or Joe Satriani lately, I think it's Steve Vai. I could be wrong.
Right.
But I think he's got one of his high-end ones. It's like a USA or made in Japan guitar, but they use basswood because he likes something. He likes the sound or the feel or the weight of it. So I do not, though, personally. All are mine. All of them. Mahogany. Or
baseball bats.
Sapele.
That's
Sapele.
really pretty.
Which is not mahogany. It's called Sapele mahogany, but it's actually
touch it.
not technically mahogany.
Feels good.
Almost, yeah. I think pretty much. I think all of my guitars are mahogany, except for my acoustic. But yeah, there you go. Thanks for the question, Fat Philosopher. Final question. Yay! Jeffrey Egan, I saw your Washburn sign on the wall. Oh yeah, over there. Way over there's a Washburn sign. And was wondering if you had any Washburn paraphernalia lying around that you don't want. I just picked up a used Washburn HB30. Just curious. Hashtag RIP EVH. Yeah, so we have a little banner
I
over
think
there.
We have a couple of those banners.
Well, I have that. I only have one like that.
Oh,
that black
I
one.
thought we had two back there.
Then in Angela's lesson room, there's a big, giant wall size.
That I want to frame out
Washburn
in wood so it doesn't curl up.
Yeah, it's starting to. We've had it for so long, the edges are starting to curl away from the backing.
Yeah,
it's a cool thing.
I know. I don't want to lose it, so we have to save its life.
Yeah. We can fix it.
Yeah, easily.
But I don't have any extra laying around of that stuff. I may have some old Washburn catalogs from 8 years ago, maybe.
Because we'd like to look at guitars that don't exist anymore.
I don't throw stuff away. Yeah, I've got catalogs of stuff they don't even make anymore, but I still have the catalog.
Yeah, and we might have a shirt.
I don't think I have any. I mean, I have some Washburn shirts that are mine that I don't wear anymore.
Yeah.
But no, not any just like stock.
I wish we did.
Paraphernalia stuff laying around. So
if we come across anything, we'll let you know.
Yeah. So and Washburn doesn't even. Washburn today is not the same as it was.
Yeah, they changed
10 years
hands.
ago. Like they got bought out, and they've been bought out twice, I think.
Yeah.
Since we became Washburn dealers in 2010. So, no, I don't have any extra laying around to just go, oh yeah, here's a banner or whatever. So I just have, and actually I think the banner I got over there, I didn't even get from Washburn. I think I bought it online or on eBay or something because I couldn't get one from Washburn. So I don't remember where I found that. But we need to order some Washburns. I actually don't have any Washburns at the moment. Yeah. We need to order a few more.
What's wrong with you?
I don't know. There's probably lots of things wrong with me. We'll figure it out as we go along. All right, that was the final question. Thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this week's video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you for commenting. Leave a comment. If you have a question for next week, leave it below. And we'll try to answer that in next week's Ask RNA. And if you watch this entire video from the beginning to the end, all however many minutes, hopefully it's not a bajillion. Secret hashtag of the day is hashtag Bing Bong. Hashtag Bing Bong.
Yep.
And we'll know you watched this entire video in its entirety.
Yes. Of
the entire video, the entire time. Entire. All right, thank you guys so much, and we will see you on the next RNA music video of some kind. It's probably going to be Ask RNA again, because I don't know if I'm going to have time to film other stuff I want to film. But whatever.
No, sorry, guys.
It's all good. All right, thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep the music alive.
Don't forget it.
Music needs you.
And you need the music.
And we need to keep it alive for the next generation
That's right.
of music enthusiasts. Or something. I don't know. All right, thank you guys so much. We'll see you in the next video. We have to go execute some gnats.
Yes, apparently. I don't know where they're coming from.
Coming from...
Things.
Yeah. Somebody gave us some farm fresh eggs. And I think the gnats were in with the eggs.
Yeah.
We have since deposed, like a totalitarian government.
Yeah.
Disposed of the eggs, but the gnats thrive on. All right. See you guys next time. Gnat.